All right. Ready for the Three Amigos? Is that the right dance I should be doing? I want to do another challenge. So you got to follow me on TikTok at @BigCarlosKing_ because I did the Chris Brown challenge. I'm gonna see if Dustin would do a dance challenge. I feel like Dustin doing the Chris Brown challenge will supersede mine out of thousands. So when Dustin comes on Raindrops, we have to ask him if he would do the Chris Brown challenge. So wait, Carlo needs to write up, and we'll give him a warning. I logged in at 7:06. I had to plan something. A lot is going on, as y'all know, but I know y'all have a bet if I would come in 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late. So just like the game Price is Right, the ones who are closer to the number without going over wins. Well, if that's the case, Carlos, that means the people who said 7:10 wins because you locked in at 7:06. I digress, but happy Monday. Let's do shout outs and then I will get the gang in here. Okay. Can we talk about Mariah and Young Thug? Listen. Okay, let's talk about this. That's a good question. Wait, hey Carlos, wait, bring that question back up, moderator. And then I'm gonna answer the Young Thug and Mariah the Scientist. Anthony Buchanan, hey Carlos, have you ever attended a Labor Day carnival? By all means. No, I haven't. So I lived in New York for 10 years. And I live in Brooklyn. So the carnival is like a big deal in New York City. I never participated. I was at home, child, watching The View. So it wasn't my thing. I'm not into like big crowds like that. I'm kind of, believe it or not, I'm kind of shy. Big crowd scare me. If I'm in it, if I'm on stage, it's a big crowd, I'm comfortable. Right? I'm comfortable on stage in front of a big crowd. I love it. If I am immersed in a big crowd, I get claustrophobic, so I can handle it. Okay. Yes, the Bells are back in October. Bell Collective is back October 3rd, Friday. Okay, so Raindrops. And I'm going to answer your question about Young Thug and Mariah the Scientist. And I'm going to bring on Claudia and Dustin. Okay. So Bell Collective is back. It is Dustin's favorite show. I love all my babies, so I can tell y'all. You know what? Let's play this game. Raindrops. Let me know in the chat. What do y'all think my favorite show is? Of all the shows I have, Love and Marriage, Huntsville, DC, Detroit, Bell Collective. Out of all my own shows, what do you think is my favorite? I want to make sure my mic is good. Hold on, is it on? Can y'all hear me? Okay. All right, Bell Collective, Huntsville. Hey, Tracy. Bell Collective, Detroit, DC, all of them. Bell Collective, Huntsville, Detroit, Bells, Bell Collective, Huntsville, because your mama liked it. Oh, you're so sweet. My mother would have loved the Bells, by the way. My mother's favorite of all my shows was Huntsville. So you're right. Okay. Love and Marriage, Huntsville, but it should be Bells or DC. Okay. We'll ask Dustin because Dustin knows everything. All right. So I answered that, but Bell Collective comes back Friday, October 3rd, 8 o'clock, 7 Central on the Oprah Winfrey Network. We have a new Belle by the name of Carrie Paul. She is a fantastic addition to the show. She is, just watch and encore. I mean, shout out to Encore. Okay, so okay. The new Belle name is Carrie Paul. Carrie Paul is from Mississippi. Yes, Nathan, we will be reviewing Bell Collective. It's Dustin's favorite show. And maybe mine. Allegedly. I don't know. I'm over Bill. So She comes in and she's very opinionated. She's very pretty. She has a beautiful family. She's a great mom. She's an entrepreneur. She owns some restaurants in Mississippi. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of tea and then I'm going to move on because I don't like to get in trouble. The new Belle gets into it with Marie. Marie and the new Belle get into it. All right, and I'll leave it at that. But Belle Collective comes back Friday, October 3rd, the day after my birthday. It's actually the day of my sister's birthday. Shout out to Jazzy Belle. It's a great season. I want to say so much, but I need to wait until we start showing y'all the super trailer. The super trailer will be revealed really soon. It's really, really, who doesn't get into it with Marie? Let's just say, in my opinion, I think Marie actually, may not have been the instigator in this. So let's just say Carrie Paul comes in, but Marie is back. Letitia Pearson, Latrice Rogers, Tamber Cherie, and Selena. So Belle Collective every Friday, starting October 3rd. All right, I'm sweating because I don't want to get in trouble. All right, so last thing. Listen, me, Claudia, and Dustin, we're pop culture enthusiasts. We love all things pop culture. In terms of talking about Mariah, the scientist, and Young Thug, look, I think we like to keep it with when it comes to the reality thing because I feel like there's so many other people to talk about that stuff that I don't want to muddy the waters. I think the beauty of Monday Night Live is you guys can come here knowing that we're talking about things that we may have insight on. Stay tuned for the rest of the show. So I feel like that's what makes our show special is the fact that we can talk about that. Okay. So if there's a intersection between pop culture and reality television, we'll talk about it. But I think it's more fun that we talk about things that you guys won't get anywhere else. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. All right. So let's bring in the beautiful Claudia Jordan and the very handsome Dustin Ross.
Hello.
What's up, Raindrop?
How's it going, guys?
Oh, thank you. Hi. What's up, y'all?
What's happening? Claudia, you look beautiful.
Thank you. I'm on 2 hours of sleep.
Okay.
I was in LA filming. I did my last day on the movie Rockabye. I had to do my own stunts. I'm in so much pain right now. I got body slammed 3 times.
Oh, shit. Okay.
The actor I was working with is very, very strong. And he put his whole back into making the scene look real. And it looked real because it was. Mm-hmm. And I had a fight scene, but my neck, I don't know if I'm like, did I have a concussion?
Are we still talking about a movie or are we talking about your love life? Because when somebody throws their back into it, that sounds like a win-win for me.
Sadly, it was just stunts for now. With him, it was stunts. Okay. But my neck, I was just like laying on the couch with heating pads. So anyways, I left on a midnight flight, landed in Dallas at 5 a.m., came home, took a shower, and then I had to be on set at 10 a.m. I did something with the shade room today. And I have not slept. So tonight I'm picking up my new kitten.
Okay. I saw it's a gray one. Yes. Yes.
Did we name her yet?
No, I would love the Raindrops to help me or you two to help me. She's a feisty little girl. She was the runt of the litter. I guess the owner dropped off a box of kittens to a shelter with no mommy inside, and 2 of the kittens died. She lived, so she's a survivor like Beyonce. So I don't know. I need a name for her. So yeah.
Dustin, do you have any suggestions?
Smoke.
Could be Smoke. Yeah. Someone
I
suggested
wonder why
Seven
Dustin
because,
said that one. Okay, continue.
Smoke.
because her
Yeah.
mom, because she's gray and her mama is with all the smoke. So maybe
That's
yeah.
right. Smoke, baby. Hell yeah.
She's a
Yes.
gray tabby and she's like so cute and feisty. So yeah. So anyways, enough about me. How y'all doing?
I'm good. I'm good. You look great as always, Claudia Jordan. Dustin Ross, how was your weekend?
Yes, sir. I had a great weekend.
Did you break any backs, any necks, or any hearts?
None of the above, but I had an interesting weekend nonetheless. One of my best friends, Marel, shout out to Marel, he was in town, so we got a chance to catch up. Over 15 years of real friendship, so that was dope. It was a great weekend. I'm in nesting mode. I was on this road all summer on tour, and so I really haven't had the chance to get my loft together and just do some home improvement. So I've been on that tip. I've been in Home Goods, y'all. You know what I'm saying? All doing all that type of stuff. Yeah.
Kenya
That's what I've
Moore
been
once
on.
told me that when she is in Home Depot, she gets a lot of D. There's a lot of men. So when you are in Home Goods, what do you get besides?
Well, it's not about what I get.
attack?
It's not about what I get. It's what I bring. That's the difference between me and Kenya.
Oh.
She was looking for it, and I brought it with me. So, yeah.
And might I add that I'm sending you guys a video of me getting body slammed to our group chat. Oh, bondage.
I ain't with all that. I ain't with that bondage shit. I ain't with that bondage shit either. Don't be tying me up. Don't hit me with nothing. Don't handcuff me to shit. The most fun part about sex is the movement anyway. I don't want to be restricted and bound and tied up. That is not a kink for me. Get that.
We lost. Did we lose Dustin?
Oh, did we lose Dustin?
Carlos, since you talk for a living and you're the boss, I could see probably in sex, you're probably a little bit opposite. Like you probably like the guy to like maybe put like a little gag ball in your mouth and a little
You're not like no such thing.
Am I right? Because I'm usually good about these things.
Absolutely wrong. No, absolutely not. No.
Why can't you look me in the eye when you said it? You looked up and to the left. That means you're lying.
No. The thing is, I'm a little, somebody said Carlos is on this.
See, they hating on me.
You'll be happy to. I'm getting my internet that I remade my appointment tomorrow. They are coming between 8 and 12 tomorrow. I'm going to be upgraded from my bandwidth from 2 gigabyte G's, whatever, to 7. So it shouldn't have these issues. And I'm having an audio person come to work with my sound. Justin, before you got cut off, I want to say you also showed a video and you were on your rooftop of your place. And I commented, it's just like to have a rooftop in New York and be your age and a young black man. Like, I just want to give you your props like that. That's first of all, a 1-bedroom in New York is like $4,000 10 years ago. So you're doing your thing. And you got all that space, high ceilings. Like, I can't wait to come visit you and just like smoke a fat one with you on the.
It. Do what we do. Kick it. Thank you. I'm really grateful. I work really hard and I'm blessed and I just work hard and I'm thankful for the opportunity to do so. So thank you, sister. I can't wait for you to come kick it at the crib.
I want to come too.
Of course, you already know. Open invite.
We need to go sneak up there for a couple days for Fashion Week, like maybe on the 12th, like this week. This is my first week off. I wanted to go to Aruba, but it didn't work out. Carlos, let's go meet him in New York.
I'm there.
Well, I have plans for us to go other places in 2026. So
hey. That's what I'm talking about.
What about this week though? Rich man. Can you just get us a boat? I can't hear you. You're mute. We can't hear you.
Lowe's, can you hear us?
See, I asked him about a boat and he went on mute.
See, what is going on with this shit tonight, man? Everybody's stuff is just going crazy. Can you hear me, Claudia?
Okay, my back.
Oh my God, they keep asking. No, I'm not on Love and Hip Hop Miami as a cast member. I did a few scenes because RHOA and Michael Black's are on the show. Oh, we lost it. Is this Simon's messing up our Wi-Fi tonight? Is that what's happening?
Y'all are not going to get. I cannot. So, Claudia, are you joining Love and Hip Hop Miami?
A lot of reality shows, I ain't gonna lie, are low-key checking for me right now. I mean, a little over here, a little over there. I'm just saying, I'm not under contract with anyone. I'm like pop in and do an appearance and get my money. I might pop in over here and get a little tea. You never know where you might see me. But when you see me beats, know I was on a set. In other words, the phone is ringing. But no, I'm not a cast member of Love and Hip Hop. But I did do some scenes. A friend of mine's on this, so I did, a little something. And but I don't live in Miami. I keep telling people I live in Dallas, where Dallas Collective would be a great place. But I live in Dallas. I live in Dallas, or Hustle in Dallas. I don't know. I live in Dallas.
I love you so much, Claudia. You have no idea.
I live in Dallas, yo. Dallas. Claudia, I'm not begging to be I'm not begging to be anywhere else. I love being in Dallas.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well,
when are you coming to visit, Carlos? When are you coming to visit, Carlos?
Actually, no. On some real stuff. It may be sooner than you think. There's a couple of things going on. Really? Not Nell Fletcher Wi-Fi. I'm gonna tell Justin y'all said about him. No, there's a couple of things going on. But listen, we have a lot to get into. We have a lot to talk about. Once Dustin comes back, I want to get into what has blown up over the weekend. Dustin's in the studio. Okay.
All right. What the hell is going on?
No, it's okay.
Who, if there was one reality star or their spouse that you think could be sabotaging our Wi-Fi, who do you think it would be?
Right now, Phaedra Parks. Phaedra Parks. She watching our show, making faces, cutting the Wi-Fi off.
See, I didn't say anything. I'm gonna not be a hater of this episode. It was going in on me in the comments 2 weeks ago. I was like, damn. I'm like, do they not get my sense of humor? Like, I have a dry sense.
They do, because when you're not here, they get mad. Where's Claudia? Somebody to keep it all the way real. And then when she keeps it real to herself, oh my God, you're so thirsty. Move on. Like, it's whatever.
I think,
but nonetheless, let's get into the shot topic. So, did y'all get your drinks ready?
You know it.
Okay, so I have grapefruit, ginger, apple, lemon, and parsley.
Word.
What you got, Dustin?
Hennessy, VS, and OP. That's what I got.
Wow. Well, I've been on the road, so I have been in the grocery store. This is a whole glass of strawberry flavored Malibu rum. It's way too much, you guys.
Oh, yes. Wonderful, Claudia. Good choice.
Okay. Y'all ready? Shot topics. Here we go.
Let's go.
Oh my God, I feel like I got choked like really, really hard all weekend.
Congratulations.
Right. Jealous. Okay. So first thing first, we have to get into the fact that I'm gonna say alleged because that's the right thing to do. So look, K. Michelle, who is allegedly joining the Real Housewives of Atlanta, although we've seen K. Michelle, being photographed with the ladies over the weekend. K. Michelle was photographed with Juicidora, Cynthia Bailey, Portia, Phaedra, Angela Oakley, Shamia, and Kelly Farrell. In addition to this person named Pinky Cole, again, not confirming that they're housewives, but they were filmed together on a private jet. So just saying that. Now, Claudia and Dustin, I have to read to you guys a few tweets that happened over the weekend, and I would love to get your thoughts. So on September 5th at 4:55 a.m. Eastern, K. Michelle tweeted, if it takes a group, plot, a rumor, or scheme to bring me down when I'm coming in love, you already lost in the game and lost in life. All right. At 5:32 a.m. that same morning, K. Michelle tweeted, you have to be a sick person to plot and scheme on someone who is minding their business. Claudia and Dustin, it doesn't stop there. The next day, at 12:44 p.m., K. Michelle said, "Woke up feeling blessed and loved. I love my family and I love my husband. I thank them for normalcy." Then,
Normalcy.
no, this is the funniest part. No, Dustin, it gets better. This is why I love K. Michelle. So that was at 12:44, Dustin. 2 minutes later, K. Michelle wrote, "The fucks I don't give are abundant. Sometimes I wish I cared more." Then we saw that allegedly Angela Oakley unfollowed K. Michelle. There's dispute on whether or not Angela Oakley was even following K. Michelle. However, those are the tweets. Dustin, what are your thoughts on that? Could K. Michelle be talking about the Housewives, a show that allegedly has not been confirmed that she's on?
Yeah, well, we know she's on the damn show. You know what I'm saying? I know you had to say that for a legal note, but we know she's on the show.
Legal notes.
That's why she's there. So she's there. Second of all, she's bringing that K. Michelle shit to the show, which can be good and bad. The thing about it is it's a joke, right? Because ain't nothing about K. Michelle normal. She's a celebrity. She has an incredibly beautiful singing voice. She's seen success that a lot of people will never see in their lifetime. She's had experiences that are unique and specific to being rich. She's got more money than most people have, and she's crazy as a Betsy bug or a bag of doorknobs, so that she's not normal. So the whole throwback and toss to normalcy I thought was laughable. It literally made me laugh out loud. We know that K. Michelle is not afraid of a confrontation or a verbal spat with someone, and so we knew she was going to do that shit on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so bring it on. I'm ready to be entertained. I just hope she aims her Nerf gun at the right person, the right people. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see her just berating somebody that don't deserve it or being a wolf amongst those women. You know what I'm saying? When it's not necessary. Keep it bottled in, just like you do that Jack Daniels you be on. Keep it bottled in, you know what I'm saying? And then do it when it's necessary. So I'm excited.
Claudia?
I'm already kind of exhausted from the tweets.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little anticlimactic because now if the action doesn't match, like she may or may not be talking about Housewives. She might be talking about Rashida. Who knows? Because she has, she knows a lot of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know what she's talking about. We're assuming it's Housewives, and most likely it probably is. But like now that she's put this out there, of course we're gonna be like, ooh, that's around the time the cast was spotted in Dallas. Maybe something happened in Dallas. And if it doesn't live up to the hype, we're going to be disappointed. So it's like almost better to like kind of just chill a little bit, because I'm like, and when you like Housewives used to do this all the time. Unbothered. That is the biggest indicator that you're bothered is when you tell people how unbothered you are. When you tell people I ain't pressed, you're pressed. When you tell people I ain't broke, you're broke. Most usually, like always, like if you're tweeting at 4 or 5 in the morning about something, about you're not being how unbothered you are 1,000% bothered. So you're irritated, you're mad, you go to Twitter and you're doing a subliminal. Trust me, we've all probably done subliminals. I've been guilty of it myself. A lot of times I leave them in the draft. I write them and then I'm just like, okay, that looks stupid, or that's gonna cause another problem, and delete it. Because K. Michelle, everyone knows, like you should know, all eyes are on you right now. Because we're trying to put the pieces together. Are you really on it? We pretty much, we pretty much know, right? But like all eyes are on you right now. They're trying to put the pieces together. So we're going to like hold everything you say up under a magnifying glass and break it down. And I just kind of feel like less is more right now. Like I'd rather her come out the gate and we be like pleasantly surprised than see all these tweets and be like, oh, she's getting at them. And then when it comes out, if it's a dud, or it might not be. She's very dramatic and she's very entertaining. So I don't know, but I'm like, all these tweets already on Twitter, and we haven't seen that one thing drop yet. They just started filming like a couple weeks ago. Like it's already on 10. What
the hell could have happened? What happened? Like, what happened now already? Or is she being emotionally reactive to stuff that doesn't really require or support that sort of response? I don't know. We'll see. We never know with K. Michelle. She gonna hit that jack, yodel at them ladies, put our country boots on, and give us a show. So I'm ready for it. Let's see. And I'll tell you this: I think that if Angela Oakley did unfollow her, that's going to be a great match. That's going to be a great verbal sparring matchup, and I can't wait. And Angela gonna get in that paint and handle her business. So I'm excited.
It's just a lot of people, though, right? It seems like too many people, though.
Mhm.
Well, based on the number from my calculation, so if K Michelle and Pinky Cole are the two newbies, right?
Mhm.
You add Portia, that's 3. Phaedra makes 4. Drew makes 5. Shamia makes 6. Kelly makes 7. And Angela Oakley makes 8. I have never seen in my years working on Atlanta Housewives or even being a part of it by watching the show, 8 housewives. So the question does remain, is that too many housewives for one show? Now, I
No.
will say this. Oh, go ahead, Dustin.
No, it's not. These are women with extraordinary personalities. I think that it is not going to feel too full. I think that last season, even with the addition of Phaedra coming on later at the end, and while she may not be my favorite housewife, people love Phaedra, so she definitely added value to the show. So, and it still felt like there was room to grow, like Tanya said in season 2, room to grow. It felt like the show had room to grow. So I think that if there are 8 ladies holding those peaches, what a better way for Real Housewives of Atlanta to regain its position as the grand dame, no pun intended, of the Real Housewives shows. Give them ladies 8. Give us 8 Atlanta Housewives. It's been done on Beverly Hills before. It's been done in other cities. Like, give us 8 housewives. We can handle that. And then let the chips kind of fall where they may later. I think 8 is a great number for Atlanta this season.
So you're saying 8 is enough?
8 is enough, Claudia. 8 is enough.
Yes. Shout out to the old sitcom. I actually agree with you, Dustin, in the sense of, look, I think when it comes to Atlanta Housewives will always be a very special show to the zeitgeist of the Real Housewives. And you are right. Beverly Hills had 8 women at one point, and that was actually a really good season. When it comes to these women, I will say this. I am interested in seeing the full story of all of them. And for me, you also get a chance to see, look, if somebody's storyline is weaker than the others, you at least have room to sort of upgrade some of these women. And we can see as the audience which housewife is lacking in the storyline department. And because of that, it will make reason as to why they're not able to even be a peach holder next season. But I think having 8 is a step in the right direction. I think 8, in my opinion, will afford these women the opportunity to step it up. I think some of them last season lacked in the storyline department.
That's fair.
A lot more than others, right? So to be able to see more women who have more interesting stories, I think it's a great test to do that. So I agree with you. I think 8 is fine. And when it comes to K Michelle, I will say this. I will always be a K Michelle stan. The first day I met her on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, I knew she was going to be the big star she is today. I will say this about K Michelle, and this is the reason why I'm happy if she is doing the show. Hey, legal no. But I'm also happy that she gets a chance.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, and it may not be popular, and I don't give a shit. I'm sick and tired of the excuse me. I'm sick and tired of the archaic ways things used to be done.
Yeah.
There was a time to where a Love and Hip Hop star would never be graced amongst a housewife show, right? And I'm happy that the sort of invisible ban has been lifted to give someone like K Michelle a chance, because to me, where you start is not who you are at the finish line, right? So I dispose of that. I am somebody who believes that just because you started off in one way, we all elevate our lives. We all grow. And I detest, and I'm going to say this too. I don't like when people say, oh my gosh, this show's becoming Love and Hip Hop. At the end of the day, Love and Hip Hop was a force to be reckoned with, and still is for all intents and purposes. But I don't want Black people to divide the shows to where this person fits here and that person fits over there. I think as a community, we are all able to fit in multiple places if it makes sense for us at the time. Now, look, there's some Love and Hip Hop stars who, in my opinion, don't have what it takes right now to be on a Real Housewife, just
Right.
based on where they are in their lives. So I don't think it's
Right.
for everybody. But I think K. Michelle, who's newly married, who has proven that she has graduated from where she is, selling out, multiple venues, having Beyonce knows Carter send her a note congratulating her on her country's success. I think K. Michelle's a good example of the fact that where you start is not where you end up. And I'm happy that she is giving a chance to prove that. And look, I think the tweets, in my opinion, I'm gonna move on and have you guys finish it off. I am old school, right? And I am from the school of you don't tweet anything and let the show handle it. What I will say is I'm not mad at K. Michelle keeping the show alive. I'm not mad at her for having us be entertained by it, because I would rather it be this than what happened last season that we found out and a lot of crazy things happen. So if it's going to be a tweet, I'd rather a tweet than a pow. So
I agree. And one more note I want to make really quick is that at the end of the day, this is a docuseries about these women's lives, right? And when you're looking at someone's life, like the evolution of, I used to do this, but now I'm living this way and I can show that I can exist in this space. That's an evolution that makes sense. So while there are new cast members on Love and Hip Hop who may not necessarily fit the profile of what a Real Housewife typically is, it does make sense for someone to exist in the Love and Hip Hop zeitgeist and then evolve into what we know the Real Housewives world to look like. That track makes sense. And if K. Michelle can do that successfully, then more power to her. I'm not a hater. So if that happens for her and she's great on the show, then bring it on, because ultimately it's good for her. It's good for the show. She's a Black woman. It's a Black show. I want to see both entities be successful and see success in this realm. So bring it on. Let's see.
Yeah. And Claudia, before I want Claudia to wrap this up. I will say this, and Dustin, I'm not joking.
Okay.
I would like to see Jocelyn Hernandez on the Real Housewives of Miami.
Well.
All right.
Like how we're on the same page.
Are we?
Non-verbals. Non-verbal.
Non-verbals.
That being said, let me say this though. Let me say this. I watch Jocelyn's Cabaret every week. I think that Jocelyn is interesting on television, and I wish her success in the spaces that she occupies. I will say that. I love her show. You know what I'm saying? And she's made me laugh for years.
She's very funny.
Yeah, I'll say that. Now that Housewives conversation, that's some other shit. You know what I'm saying? But as far as Jocelyn having a space in here, sure.
I love seeing Black and brown people work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, y'all.
All right. Hey, Claudia, you back? Okay, good. All right. So moving on. Claudia, is there anything you want to add?
As far as Jocelyn or just people?
No, like, in general, what we talked about. Anything you want to add before I move on?
I'm with Al with the evolution. I think it's cute, but we'll see how it works. I don't know. We'll see how it works. I don't know. I feel like the show's not the show it used to be anyways. It's a different show. You know, the Housewives is just not what it used to be. It's way different anyway. So it's like it's kind of evolved into something else. I almost feel like they need to change the title, because last year, what was it, like 1.2 wives on there? It was just not a lot of wives on there anyways.
What you think the new title should be, Claudia?
Atlanta Streets.
Claudia!
Streets of Atlanta, the streets of Atlanta, because you got all kind of shit going on. You got bitter ex-husbands. You got people shooting guns and threatening people. You got people that are no man. You got men that are trying to get peaches. You got niggas living in. I remember the album Niggas in Paris, but now we got niggas in basements. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a potpourri, a cornucopia, if you will.
Cornucopia, yes. A horn plenty, yes.
Of different scenarios. But as far as the housewife and husband dynamic that we don't have that anymore. Like we don't have the wealthy man, husband, and the wealthy housewife that is home and gets to lunch with her friends. You don't have that. You got girls that got to open up like, you know, all these businesses to try to make it happen. Ex-husbands that ain't paying no bills. You got people in lavender marriages trying to pretend, and you got, you know, people that just like, I don't know. You got men trying to get peaches, but you've always had that. It's not the same. It's not like what it was. You know, like I want to get back like away from heifers fighting. Like I wanted to get where it's like a war of words, where it's like you have to really be smart, you know, and be clever with your words, because anyone could fight. And I think when people say bring in Atlanta Housewives, making it be like Love and Hip Hop, that's what they mean. That's what would separate the show, because people would like, they would verbally joust, and it would never ever, and no matter what someone would say, no one's punching someone. It would just be like, oh, I see your insult and I raise you another one. And you'd be like, oh shit. And I think it takes more restraint to be like that. And that's more brilliant to me than it's easy to just punch a bitch in the mouth. Who cares?
Yeah, very easy. Listen. I would love to see. I ain't even gonna hold you. While yes, there's a profile that exists for what we know the Real Housewives of Atlanta cast members to be, right? I do want to see a show about the girls in Atlanta that's getting to the money. You know what I'm saying? Running these niggas. I want to see the 304s or the 404. That's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? I want that show. I don't know where it needs to live. Carlos, who makes television shows and magic. You know, I don't know where it needs to live, but I want to see a show about the get it girls that's out here getting to it, hustling by whatever means, looking good, running niggas. I want to see it. You know what I'm saying? And that might not be the place for them on the Atlanta Housewives, no matter how much you love these women, Carlos, from all walks of life. I think that, you know,
hustle type chicks, like that could be a good Detroit show. Like
hell yeah, I want to see that.
Be a good New Orleans
the girls
show.
That don't talk. I want to see a show with the ones that you convince to talk. That's what I want to see. Yes.
Someone said, "Oh well, Claudia, you didn't have a husband and housewife." First of all, one last time, I went on there as a friend, but because my read was so goddamn epic and fan favorited that season, they asked me to be a housewife with only about 3 weeks left on the clock, so we didn't have time to get to my real storyline. That I didn't go on. I was there as a friend. So if you look at my story as a friend, I did a lot for a friend of the show, but then I got the extra title. That's what happened.
And who gives a fuck what happened anyway? But
I was dating someone at the time that
was, baby.
If y'all had known.
Oh, Claudia.
But now, if they had known, and he had a meeting, right? I'm not going to say, but he had a meeting.
I'm not going to say the name.
No, please. He had a meeting. No. Oh, I know. Carlos.
I'm not.
I know. You know what's happening right now. So, anyways, had it had been, we would have been fucking running that shit, okay? But what had happened was we had just started dating towards the end of Housewives. He had a meeting with production, 1 hour on the phone, and he said, it was not Roger Bob. Stop it. And he said, Claudia, I'd love to help you out, but I have kids. And I was like, yeah, and it's too soon in our relationship. And I said, I'd rather have you in real life. Thank the Lord I did not push to get him on the show, because he would have embarrassed the fuck out of me with his shenanigans. It would have been great for the show. Horrible for me personally. And I'm so glad I dodged that bullet. Yeah. And this guy is like, one day it'll come out and you're going to be, y'all will gag. But we're not going to say.
All I'll say, Raindrops, he is fine.
I only do
10. Now, one thing about your roster, we're going to move on. Listen, I will give you this, and I give you your 10s, but I'm going to give you this too. Add this to your accomplishments in life. I have the pleasure of being around 2 of Claudia's former dates, right? And I also know about her other exes that were friends. I will say this, of all of my girls that I am friends with, and I love all the girls, I will give Claudia Jordan this. Claudia Jordan's roster are all a 10 out of a 10. Miss Mama does not do a 9. She'll do a 9.5. Claudia does it. Her 10s are 10s.
I can't say, based on what I know, Claudia don't fuck around. She don't play. So, she's going to cast the net and get the fish she wants. I'll put it like that. So
that's why when people be like, oh, you don't have, I'm like, no, I do. I don't tell y'all. So y'all have to go in the DMs. And I also protect it. And like the guys that I like are like unicorns, so they don't come a dime a dozen. Like it takes a minute to like get them. You know what I mean?
Claudia, they're dating people that
Oh, let me see. I'll tell y'all if anybody right. Y'all have mentioned maybe one or two. Y'all have mentioned
I saw one.
Let me
I
look.
did too, but I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not even looking at the comments, but I can already tell you. I know they're going to arrive at a destination. But that's
okay. There's one y'all said that all I'll do is this. Okay, moving on, because Claudia, I protect her all the time. Claudia, I'm not gonna say anything. No. So all I'm gonna say is Claudia pulls the 10s.
for sure.
And I will say this, Claudia, I'm not gonna say much. Claudia actually had 2, but she's forgetting about the second one that I met at the club. So, anyways, and you were,
and they'd be cool too. I will say that as Claudia's friend, that she has allowed in spaces with, you know, partners that she's been involved with or whatever, that I've been treated very nicely. I actually have gotten along with people to the point where I wish that, you know, of course I'm gonna be on Claudia's side no matter what. Fuck them niggas, you know what I'm saying? But I have wanted certain situations to work out because I genuinely enjoyed the company of, you know, the people that she has introduced me to. I'll say that. I'm trying to be as vague as possible, Claudia, because you know
I love you for that.
You know,
Carlos, yeah. I never hooked up with that person. We met at an event, and
no. I'm saying he wanted you.
We all were hanging out, but he was like wandering eye with all my friends, and like right away I was like, he's doing too much. But he's very fine. He's very popular in Tyler Perry Productions. We'll say that.
You are.
There's a lot of them. But I never touched him. We never made out. We never kissed, none of that. But he was at my house it was a group of us. We all went out that night. Yeah, that was in that club in Atlanta. It wasn't Christian Keys, y'all. It was not Christian.
Okay,
Keys.
move on. No, move on. This is too much. Okay.
This still name the names.
Anyway,
me and Tyler Perry do have similar tastes, like his taste in casting and my taste. Casting. The people that he cast, I'm like, oh, he has similar.
So one thing that I do want to say is, Raindrop, somebody wanted me to give y'all a message.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Thomas says hello.
Shout out to my boy Peter.
Yes.
He's in right now?
Yeah.
Oh man. Hi, Peter.
Yes. He wanted me to tell you guys hello. He said, okay, I'm only saying this because he gave me permission, because y'all know me. I want to make sure. Okay. So Peter Thomas wanted me to tell everybody he is doing well, that he's hanging in there, he's in good spirits. He said that, this is the part that made me laugh. He said, wow, Carlos, they know you here. I said, oh, the guys saw me in prison. He said, yes.
When you find out prison.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Love after lockup, baby.
Oh, yes. Love after lockup. Carlos King.
No.
Lockdown. Okay.
Don't do it. So one thing he did say was, he mentioned that every Saturday, he said they are glued in front of the television watching Huntsville. Good. He said, and in my mind, because I'm a little whatever, I said, wait, just to be clear, you're in like the men's prison. He was like, yeah, MF, what do you think I'm in? I'm like, I just have to be sure. Because I'm like, he said, Carlos, it's to the point where if you try to change the channel, you're getting beat up. He said, they love Huntsville. And he wanted me to tell everybody on Huntsville that the prison inmates, they love the show. And he wanted me to tell you, Claudia and Dustin, hello. And the Raindrops, he says hi. So, yeah.
Is that what he said? Just hello?
That's it. But he wanted me to tell everybody like he's doing good, that he's in good spirits, and he's rocking and rolling, and he's not sad, depressed. He's doing his time, and he's there to, you know, do his thing and get out.
He got
Peter gonna be just fine. Peter will be just fine. Don't you remember when he whooped Matt ass? Remember Matt that Kenya was dating, and he whooped Matt ass at that radio station? It's online. You can look it up. Peter beat Matt ass in that radio station, and Matt really thought he had him. Peter is an old school hustler. You know what I'm saying? When Peter and Cynthia were together and I was around Peter, he was always very nice to me. You know what I'm saying? Of course, my loyalty lies with Cynthia and always will, but like he was cool. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he'll handle himself. I hate to see him in there. You know what I'm saying? But he'll pay his debt and handle that. So, and I'm not worried about him behind them bars. Shout out to Peter and shout out to everybody in the system. You know what I'm saying? Who's paying their debt properly? You know, is remorseful about whatever happened to them. They're also shout out to my podcast, The Friend Zone. We got approved on some list of podcasts that people can listen to that are incarcerated and whatever prison systems, and we get tons and tons of support from people that are incarcerated at this time. So that's an audience, that's a population, and who better to speak to? You know what I'm saying? That who better to give information and make feel good than people who need it at that time. So if y'all niggas watching us right now, you know what I'm saying? That's handling that and locked up. Shout out to y'all. Hold your head. Yeah.
I used to have a connect in prison, through one of my friends, and they used to like study the sports betting every day, and they used to give me like 10 team parlays. Yo, I used to make a
told me this a long time ago. You told me this, Claudia. Yes.
Shout out to Boo. I think his name is Boo. He used to give me some good bets. I think I won like 5-10 team parlays. I would like throw a little something on his books, give his mama some money. I know I got a little ratchet side. Anyways.
And they loved you from The Price is Right too. Didn't you have a big audience in there from like your time on The Price is Right?
Because back then, The Price is Right was like porn back then for them. They could see girls in swimsuits. You know what I mean? Hey, prison boots.
Hey, so I wanted to make sure I said that before I moved on. So last hot topic of the evening. Speaking of casting, the Real Housewives of New Jersey, as you all know, has been put on pause for almost, I think it's going on a year from my calculations, due to the fact that last season, the ladies were not getting along. It was destructive. Rumors had it in the past week or two that has been the talk of the town that they are testing new housewives, potential housewives, but the potential housewives are only filming allegedly with Dolores, Melissa Gorga, and Margaret Josephs. Missing in terms of filming is Teresa. Excuse me. So Teresa recently said on her podcast that, she felt that last year the ladies were trying to ice her out, so that she wouldn't come back, so that it's been hard. Her guest, Christian Grey, said that, we got to make sure that we're not doing this in this scene and we're not talking to her in this scene. Is that what happens on these shows? He feels like it shouldn't happen. Teresa says she agrees, and that's why she feels like Salt Lake City is amazing. She's been watching the show and learning a lot from them. So, Dustin and Claudia, can the Real Housewives of New Jersey survive without Teresa Giudice?
Lady first, Claudia.
Full disclosure, I don't know who any of the white girls are. I really don't. I don't. I know who Teresa is. I've never seen one episode, so I have to just tap out on this one and let the reality show TV historian Dustin. I relinquish my time to Dustin, please, Dustin.
Okay, look, snatch his cape. Let's go. First of all, Real Housewives of New Jersey is a ghetto ass show. I don't care what nobody says. They've been ghetto from day one, and that's why a certain audience loved that show. It also appealed to us. It was about families, it was drama, and they never gave a fuck about going to the line with the drama, right? It was a refreshing take on a bunch of white ladies living in a random neighborhood. It was refreshing. We were able to identify with certain elements and themes. This whole Teresa versus Melissa debate, this can be summed up very simply by people who watch the show from season 1 forward. Seasons 1 and 2 of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa and her family were interesting. We were captivated by them, her and all them daughters, and just everything going on with them. We didn't even know that Teresa had a brother and a sister-in-law. Okay, she never mentioned her family. She never exploited that very serious rift that was going on in her family. We didn't know anything about it. We found out about it because Melissa was willing to introduce that family drama and use it as something to position herself on the cast of the show. That's what happened. When Teresa, so much so that when Teresa came on to season 3, episode 1, and she was at the baby's christening, her nephew or niece's, it was one of her nephew's christenings, I think. And they had that big blow up in the first episode. Melissa and her sisters was bringing the straight up drama, and they all introduced, and Joe Gorga, they introduced that family conflict to the audiences and to the world. Teresa never did that. Now, I have my personal take on Teresa and some of what she's offered to that show, but take all that out. When it comes down to Melissa versus Teresa, Melissa and Joe are the ones who brought that family drama to the forefront and used it as something to position themselves on the show. That's simply what happened. You ain't got to like Teresa. You ain't got to agree with nothing else going on in her life. But when we're talking about Melissa versus Teresa, that is what happened. And because of that, I've never really seen the value in Melissa on the show beyond her conflict with Teresa and them, which Teresa never used to be interesting on the show. And that's the difference between the two of them. Now, has it run its course? Is it stale? Absolutely. Are the audiences as a whole ready to move on? For sure. Okay. But what happened is that Melissa and Joe were willing to exploit their family drama to be on that show. And they introduced all of that shit to the show. That's just the facts. Now, you can't start a story in the middle. You can't start it in the end, close to the end. Things have happened along the way that Teresa is at fault for. She's had multiple opportunities to quell that drama and shut it down. She has not. But if we're talking about what happened, Melissa and Joe brought that family drama to the show. Teresa never used that to be interesting on the show. That's the facts. We can go on.
Dustin, you're so good. You're such a we're so lucky to have you. Like, you're such a gem. Like, I'm like,
Thank you,
oh,
friend.
okay, yeah, I need to go back and see this because I don't know none of this shit. And damn,
Thank you, friend.
okay, and you can just go over, like, your brain is like an encyclopedia of
I
reality.
love you, friend. That's what we get along, because yours is too. You know, Claudia, we can run it about
areas.
shit.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Yes.
Like, encyclopedia, but you have that reality stuff down. Like, you have so much. Like, your memory card is not full. Mine's a little full. I think I need a couple more bandwidth. Okay, but you just go and you find episode 8, season 2. Remember
He's
that?
Good at that.
I'm like,
thank
what?
you.
Like, it's
I just remember that shit because I was caught up in that world when they announced. I remember them announcing, you know, it's old time at the Apollo over here. I remember stuff. And so I remember when they announced the Housewives of New Jersey. I remember that first trailer. I remember season 2, the whole hair pulling moment with Jacqueline's daughter, which I love the way they said her name, Jacqueline. They would call her Jacqueline. I love that. But I remember just all of those were huge moments. And Carlos, that's when you were at the helm of, you were producing over there when all that stuff was going on in seasons 1 and 2 that made everybody fall in love with the Real Housewives of New Jersey. That's why it's still here. So, you know, return to form will be cool. The show, like I said, they ghetto. Danielle Cabral was yelling on there last season, you're dirty, yelling at old girl's face, throwing glasses and shit. Remember when them ghetto ass twins was on there fighting in them fireman costumes and shit? It's been multiple physical altercations on Real Housewives.
They've had more fights than and just so you know, Claudia, the Real Housewives of Jersey has had more physical altercations than any housewife.
Of course, let me tell you, Italian and Irish are the what word can I use of the whites? You already know. Okay, they are them. Italians and the Irish, they are with the shits. They're the most. I don't want to say they're the most ghetto.
No, they've been
ghetto on Real Housewives of New Jersey. That's been some.
They get it. They get it going. So listen, Dustin is. I don't have anything to say after what Dustin just said. I mean, I agree with everything he said. The only thing I'm going to offer up as producer is this: just because newbies aren't filming with all of the potential housewives doesn't mean that person is out, right? And I'll give Claudia an example because she's here. Claudia filmed with Kenya, right? When she was testing out. Claudia did not film with any of the housewives. So just because the potential housewives are not filming with Teresa does not mean Teresa is not coming back. Now, the rumor is that if she's not coming back, is because they're giving Teresa her own show with her family, which would be great too. But I just want to offer it up. Don't
I
freak
don't
out
care
too
about
much.
her family. I don't want to see no damn show with Teresa and Louis and them fucking kids we don't know are Louis. We care about Teresa's daughters because we've seen them, but they've been writing Donald Trump and doing all kind of shit that we're disinterested in, right? So I personally, just speaking for myself, I don't give a fuck about a show with Teresa and her family. Teresa needs to be on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. She needs to figure it out when it comes to filming with Melissa, because apparently Bravo sees value in her and she ain't going nowhere. And so suck it up, figure it out, Teresa. That whole stalemate, not filming with this one and not filming with that one. None of y'all add enough value to the show to be able to take that sort of stance and have it, have some weight and levity. Suck it up, be a grown up, learn how to film, even if you have to figure it out, so that we can get back to what makes all of you interesting. We only like Teresa because she was on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Outside of that, yes, she's had cookbook success and all the other shit, but that's been a derivative of her run on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. She owes it to herself to figure out how to, if this is your show and you started this shit, hold court. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter who they bring on the show. You can deal with it and figure it out. Even if it's your sister-in-law who you I've never understood why Teresa allowed herself to succumb to Melissa's tactics. You were here first. Hold your ground and make Melissa uncomfortable on this damn show. That's what you should do. So all that not wanting to film or giving her own show, I don't give a damn about nothing going on in that tacky ass house that looks like them tacky ass decorations they put in the White House or that gold leaf shit. I don't care about none of that. I want to see her on the cast with the other women. That's it.
Everybody thinks they need a spinoff or deserve one, or that they
There
are
you
that.
go. And it's not that.
And not just Housewives. I mean, everyone thinks I should have a reality show. I should get a spinoff. And it's like it takes a lot to carry that, I'm just saying, all right.
So we shall see. We shall see. So, but as of now, no announcements have been made. So, with that being said, look, I would love to see Teresa back on the show. I think Teresa's the face of the show. I think as producer, it's her show. And I think in terms of advertising, marketing, and all of that, when advertisers and everybody hears the Real Housewives of New Jersey, like Claudia said, Claudia knows not one person on that show besides Teresa Giudice. And that's the reason why she needs to come back to the show. So I'll just end it there. Now, let's get into Love and Marriage Huntsville. So this episode was a doozy. There was a lot going on. Dustin and Claudia, I first want to get into what's going on between Destiny and Lance. So to update the audience and to update, well, don't need to update you two. Destiny is single. She was married. She's divorced. She's a single mother. Okay. She is in Huntsville, Alabama, that has a population of 82 people. So I'm teasing. You forgot to take me seriously. So Huntsville is a small town. Destiny is a beautiful single woman. Lance is the adult son of Nell Fletcher. Okay. Just so we're clear. Now, with that being said, just for, to let everyone know, because I think y'all asked this last time, Chris Fletcher is not Lance's biological father. Okay. So Nell had Lance in a previous relationship. Okay. Destiny dated Lance. Okay. They had a rendezvous. Destiny said it wasn't intimate. We'll get into that conversation later that she had with Nell. But while Destiny and Lance were dating, the day we taped the reunion last year, so we taped last year's reunion, Claudia and Dustin, in October of 2024.
Okay.
We taped the reunion in Los Angeles. Okay. 9 times out of 10, the cast obviously likes to stay a couple of days after, because why not? Apparently, Lance was there, but he was off camera. Apparently, the Fletchers left immediately. They left LA. And Letitia Scott, in Nell's voice, told Destiny that she heard they had to run off because this woman that Lance was dating, he got her pregnant and the lady was having the baby. Okay? That's what happened allegedly. Destiny found out that Lance had a baby courtesy of Instagram. So in this one-on-one, they have the conversation. Claudia, I want to start with you. As a woman, what did you think about the fact that, listen, Lance said he did not hide his baby from Destiny. He was hiding the world from his baby. I'm saying that, okay? But
Okay, Drake.
Said,
okay, Drake.
Thank you. But when it comes to that, do you think as a woman that Lance should have told Destiny, yes, we're dating. Yes, it's casual. I'm dating other women. However, I did get someone pregnant before 9 months later seeing the photo on Instagram.
Of course. Like, why are we playing this woman's face like she doesn't have a valid point to feel away? Of course. Even if we're casually dating, you having a baby, you getting another woman pregnant is a big occurrence in your life. Let's flip the script and reverse it real quick. What if she would have just got pregnant by someone else while she was casually dating Lance? It would be the end of the world. She's a whore. She's for the streets. Like, let's normalize, like, you know, an equal playing field here. Of course, that's a big deal. And she doesn't have to be his woman official title for him to share that with her. Just being someone that's in his orbit, in his life. That's something that I'd want to know. I don't want to be with someone that has a newborn baby, because it always reflects badly on the woman that's right after that. Like, you're not letting a family be a family. You're interfering. You're in the way. What's going on here? And yes, and you know, I take issue with like Nell, and I love Nell when she was on the show. I think she's adorable. I love her personality. But like, these are grown-ups. These are not children. And having smoke for Destiny because she may have flirted with someone else. I love the line that Destiny said, I may have been making googly eyes, but he was making babies. I thought that was bars, because
it was bars. It was written, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, written bars. Okay. Yeah. You know, not the first one to pre-write or read, but you know, there you go, fam.
I'm making babies. I'm making eyes. Oh, you know what I'm saying? She was rapping, but go ahead.
Like, it's like the double standards is out of control. You know, I'm like, if someone has a baby while we're dating, guess what? I can date your father, your cousin, your brother. I can date whoever the fuck I want. And you can't really say anything about it because you are out here raw dogging other people and made a baby. So please stop playing with me. And like, to make her like wear the scarlet letter that she's somehow for the streets. I don't think she knew that that was a relative when she saw him and made quote unquote googly eyes. I feel like she saw a tall, good looking man, which, you know, in shape, which you don't really see that a lot. And everyone does that. Oh, who's that? Did she give him ass that night? What, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's my opinion. Y'all know these people more than I do. But when I'm looking at it, I was like, I don't think she was in the wrong. And the fact that she even gave the respect to Lance and said, I'm letting you know that I heard he's interested. And if he does ask me, I would be open to going that. Why? You're out here making children with other people. I think she handled it right, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Claudia on this one. I'm 100% in agreement. I'm over people trying to police women's bodies. If Destiny wanted to fuck everybody on that show, that she could morally, so what? She can do what she wants to do. And I don't think that it's ain't none of Nell's damn business. I'm fresh off of that documentary on Netflix, Unknown Number, where that mother was sending them crazy texts to her daughter. So the whole over involvement of the mother in the child's very adult business, I'm triggered by that in this case. I definitely thought Nell was overstepping the fuck out of her boundaries by even having a conversation about what all these grown people are doing with their privates. I don't understand it. And then doubling down on the fact, I know he slept with her. I know my boy. All of that stuff. Like, I was like, damn, Nell, like, if he's saying they didn't do it, Destiny flat out said in her scene that they did not mess around, which they didn't have to say anything at all because it was nobody's business what the fuck they did. And and I thought it was interesting that all of Nell's vitriol was aimed at Destiny for allegedly having involvement with these two men who had a pre-existing relationship as god brothers. But Nell didn't say nothing to them like, well, why y'all trying to fuck on the same girl? You know what I'm saying? Like that was not called out by her. So I'm 100% with Claudia on this. There is an obvious double standard, and Destiny was in the right in this case. She has full control over her autonomy. She can be with whoever the hell she wants to be with. And I do not believe for one second that her and Lance were any form or semblance of anything serious. I think that they were having fun and dating. As far as this cast is concerned, Destiny is like the single one who can be living that life and going on dates and stuff. And if that's what she was doing, that's what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? Yes, she was flirty with this one, flirty with that one. But if her and him were not in a serious connection, she had every right to do that. And so I don't, just all the involvement, like I don't get. Let Destiny rock. That's hers to do whatever she want to do it with.
And some, I will never say all or many, but there's some Black mamas that are very involved in their son's life and almost treat them like their man sometimes.
That shit is weird.
And it's weird, right? Like, it's like when she started naming the names of all these other men that alleging, like kind of putting bodies on Destiny, I thought that was kind of like not cool. Like, why would you do that? Like, it was almost like she was like, your son is the one that has actual DNA evidence of being with other people. You know, like, why are you out here like kind of low key, kind of shaming Destiny? Your son is out here like, what do they say? Laying it low, spreading it wide. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Shout out to Funky with the saying, but like, you know, for a fact that he's been with other people. You're like alleging things about this girl, and it kind of like, you know, and luckily Destiny had a good sense of humor about it, and she didn't seem to go off. But that usually that would put again a scarlet letter on a woman. Like, why is it that she's so wrong for even flirting or noticing an attractive man, but we're not having the same accountability or smoke for someone that's dating, seeing this woman, but then laid up with another woman and got another woman pregnant and created a whole entire life? It's like, to me, like they're not they're not the same thing. And neither,
I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off, friend.
She's getting more like pushback, and it's like, do people not like Destiny? Is that why they're like judging her more harshly? But I think a lot of times mamas of Black boys, some Black men, be babying their sons, and they don't like, they kind of like co-sign everything they do, and they never really feel like they have to have accountability for anything because their mama always tells them, no, you're right, baby. No, that's them fast girls. It's them. No, sometimes it's you. Sometimes it's you.
I believe that a lot of what Nell was doing in this episode was for the, sorry, y'all. That's probably in order coming through. Anyways, we live. Real shit is gonna happen.
Coming through.
Shit is gonna happen. But
okay.
Anyways, I think that Nell was being performative. A lot of that was for the camera, based on what, like, we just had a great conversation with Nell on the show a couple weeks ago, based on what we've seen in past seasons from her and in other scenes. She was prying and really like tapping into that, I think, for the show. I think in real life she wouldn't be that involved in her son's business. And take
I'll stop you there. Not to give too much away. But I will say this. Nell is a mama bear. And you'll see more of the interaction she has with her family this season. But when it comes to, I'm not talking about her being performative, whatever. But I think when it comes to her kids, Nell is definitely a mama bear for sure.
Okay, well then in that case, Nell, you wrong. You wrong as hell. You need to get out of Destiny and the Lance business. They don't really have no business for you to be in, especially if they didn't have sex. And even if they did, they're grown adults. All these people are adults, and everybody needs to mind their business. So Nell, you wrong, and that's that. You wrong as hell. Stay out their business, and that's it.
It did feel like, you know, when you maybe you have a slow week with your drama and your own storyline, that you kind of have to milk something. When I was looking at like producer mind, like I was like, this feels like she's kind of dragging this a little bit. SD Max says Italian mamas baby their boys too. That is 1000% a fact. My mother is like one of 7, and she has one brother. And the way they would baby the brother, the boy, like everything they did is right, nothing is wrong, just because he has a penis. Like honestly, some cultures really just do not like to hold their sons accountable. Like they really treat them as the golden child. And I think Italians, Black folks, very much do that.
And that to me is the beauty of this conversation, right? Because I do think it's funny because, as you all know, I'm one of 10 kids. I have 9 siblings. And one of the topics is, well, let me break it down first. It's 7 boys and 3 girls, right? 7 boys and 3 girls. And my sisters, hi Tamika, Lakita, and Carlita.
Hey, y'all.
They watch every Monday. my sisters will always tell my mom, you baby these boys. Like, you baby these boys. And it's funny because this is the best part of the conversation. Two of my sisters obviously had children. They have a daughter and a son, and their daughters told them, you baby my brother. Like, so I thought it was interesting because it is sort of like, is it this cycle? Mm-hmm. And that's the reason why when it comes to Nell is very passionate when it comes to her kids in general. Lance is her firstborn. Mm-hmm. And that's her firstborn is a like we said, a boy, a man. And that's why, to me, it is interesting to sort of see the mama bear come out when it comes to it. And that's why Raindrops in the chat. I do want to talk about this more in detail, not tonight, but just in general, as we sort of recap the rest of the season. Do y'all feel like when it comes to Black mothers, Italian mothers too, as you guys outline in the chat, that they're harder on their daughters than they are their boys? Because that is a topic of conversation that my family had. I'm seeing it on the show, and Claudia and Dustin have raised a good points too. When it comes to Destiny, I will say this. When I created Love and Marriage Huntsville, obviously it was about 3 couples. But similar to Housewives, things change. And unfortunately, the divorce rate is at 51%, I believe. I always wanted to tell the story of like, look, just because you're divorced doesn't mean your life is over. I will always applaud Destiny to tell the story of, I'm single, I should be dating and figuring life out. I do think it's unfair, and I agree with Dustin 100%. I do think it's unfair that a woman who is single is not allowed to date around, figure things out. And if she wants to sleep around, it's her body, do what she wants to do, as long as it's her choice, her body, her choice. This is a big topic the rest of the season, but what I will say is I applaud Destiny, because being a single woman, and Claudia, I would love to ask you this, being a single woman around married women and married couples, it is harder because you are seen oftentimes, and again, I want Claudia's opinion on this because I'm not a single woman, but Claudia, do you feel like, unfortunately, single women get a bad rep for dating around town just because they're around married couples and people look down on it?
1000%. You're always seen as a threat. I can't tell you how many friends, like, I'm a relationship girl. When I'm in a relationship, I love going on like couples trips. I love doing like double dates. I love that. I feel like it builds like kind of community and like it's strong bonds. It's really good for your couples to be with other couples. But, sometimes in between relationships, I'd be the single girl at a wedding or on a trip. And I feel like the men that have these women, they almost want to keep their women away from me, their girlfriends. Like, I'm going to somehow encourage them to like creep, or I'm going to have them around all these single men. And it's just like not right. It's just not true. I remember one year on a girls trip, RHOA, who was Michael Blackson's fiance, Michael Blackson came on the trip with us, right? So he was the one man on a girls trip, and he got to see what it was like. And he was actually blown away. And I was like, see, I wanted you to see this. Like, we're not these we're not these threatening mystical beings that just have supply of random extra spare dicks on hand for our friends to just run through. It's not like that. But people tend to think, oh, that single girl's going to take you away and she's going to have you around her single baller friends and you're going to leave me for that. You can be single and still be a good girl's girl and still be a pro relationship friend. I always encourage, I'm not with that being a side chick or my friends like cheating on their man. I'm always like, yo, you need to talk to your man and figure it out. Like, don't go to me for an alibi unless you're my bestie. I got your back, girlfriend. Right. But I'm saying, like,
I'm gonna call you, and I ain't your girlfriend. I'm gonna call you, Claudia.
I would never try to encourage someone to like, just be trifling like that. Matter of fact, I have friends that lie to me about what they're doing because they know I don't play that. So yeah, they definitely look at the single friend as like, you're like, you represent temptation and like bringing their girl, like, or you also can give them the game like, girl, there's still other men out there. And I hate that they think that, because if you get to know me, I'm a very traditional relationship. Like, I'm traditional roles. Like, I don't like all that cheating nonsense. I'm not with that. So yeah. 1000% they think that we're like the scarlet letter once again. Like, we're we're gonna take your girl and make her fuck somebody else. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. No, it's a very interesting topic, and again, it gets explored a few more times this season. But I want to move on to talk about the men meetup. So Maurice decided to get all the guys together so that Martell and Marceau are able to finally address their long-standing feud. Claudia, to catch you up on what's been going on since day one. Long story short, years ago, maybe 10 years ago, no, I think he said 9 years ago, Martell and Marceau decided to go into business together and have a company named Scout. So it's Scott's and Holt merged as one. They called it Scout. Okay. Martell is alleging that Marceau was on hard times, being a manager at the movie theater, getting fired for, that's what he's saying, and that he was in bad times, and that's why Martell decided, being in a good space financially, to even have this company. What happened is a few years later, they decided to disband the company, and Martell decided to give Marceau the name and walked away from it, right? What has been sort of the topic of conversation ever since then is Marceau and Martell being at odds, alleged cheating scandals. Martell has alleged that Marceau has slept with 20 women while he was married. Martell did a YouTube interview with a woman alleging to be one of Marceau's lady friends that he slept with. And this is how everything started to unravel when it came to their friendship. So in this conversation, they really were throwing digs at each other. But Dustin, you have been around since season 1, watching all of this for the past 10 seasons. What do you think is the root of Martell and Marceau's issues?
A lack of accountability on Martell's behalf. That's what I think. I think that Martell has been running from taking accountability with the fact that he broke his family up, and that had overreaching impacts into their friendship circle. And he is constantly running away from the acceptance and acknowledgement of that fact. And it affects every area of his life that we as viewers have been exposed to. So that's what I think is the root of all that. Again, you can't start a story at the end, in the middle, or at the end. You have to start at the beginning. And the root of their conflict came from Marceau. Marceau laid it out. He laid it out. He told jokes about something that he thought was fodder amongst the group. Lighthearted jokes. Martell took issue with that because Martell was facing a lot of accusations, right, which belonged in his lap, but he was facing a lot at one time, and he decided to act out towards Marceau in that way. We saw him go way far with that. Accused Letitia of sleeping with other people at certain times back in the day, bringing up things from back in the day to try to make them look bad, right? Bringing up guys that said they had a sexual relationship with her at a time when she was an adult and single and able to do so. Bringing up the fact that Marceau was managing that movie theater to try to diminish him or look like he was at a low earning job and was seeking some sort of relief and help from Martell in partnership with him on Scope. That's why he brought all that up. You bringing those things up to make him look like he needed your help at one point. These are things that have nothing to do with literally the root of your issue. And so all that deflection, all that, the accusations he threw, while you can ask questions about the fidelity of Marceau and Letitia Scott, you could ask questions about the fidelity of their marriage, but that don't have shit to do with what Martell did and what he took umbrage with Marceau Scott for in the first place. You ain't gotta like Marceau. You ain't gotta like Letitia Scott. You ain't gotta like them. You can have very real feelings and opinions about the ways that they have shown up in other relationships amongst the cast. But if we talking about Martell and Marceau, the fracture of the relationship we were presented with, Martell is at fault. That's just what it is.
I'm going to say this about Martell. If I was any of the male cast members on this show, I would never confide or tell him anything ever again. He's the type of person that when he's on the hot seat, He's going to blow the whole thing up and bring everybody down with him. He can't just stand in his truth and his lane and say, let's just talk about, like, they can't, you know, when you have a conversation like about you got to be, well, you did this, well, you did that, well, you did this, well, fuck it. If I'm going down, everyone's going down. He reminds me of the scene in the movie, Why Did I Get Married Too, with all the dinner table and everyone's like, oh, okay, we telling secrets. Well, why don't you tell your wife about, well, you're taking, you know, antibiotics. Oh, okay, we're doing that. Well, why don't you that's what Martell is doing. That's his whole thing. And yes, he was in the hot seat for a long time from his own actions. And now he's not so much on the hot seat like he's been in the past. He's feeling himself a little bit. So now he's like getting everybody back for when things were rough for him. That's what it feels like to me. I'm, you know, it seems like he's like, the way he did that, like, I know this guy code, right? And, you know, you can't trust someone if in good times, all the things I tell you now, or, you know, you're going to just put me on blast on television like that to use it in a tactic to win a fight. I only would do that if it's someone I never, ever, 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 ever care to ever be around ever again or be cool with. That's when you burn the whole thing down. Like, he's still kind of like 1 foot on, you know, he's straddling the fence. Like, I don't get how he's like going scorched earth on everyone like that. To me,
my thing is too, Claudia, like, what the fuck we supposed to do with that, right? If anything, nigga, you laid up in the room while they was fucking these other women. You was going on trips with it. If what you saying is true, you are just as complicit. And don't tell me about it now when you was all right with it before your shit hit the fan and before your shit came out. I can't stand people like that. You just as bad. That don't make you look more pious or make you look like you are you have any integrity. You kept the lie going as long as it served you. And I can't stand motherfuckers like that. Don't tell me something somebody did to me or how they wronged me when you were all right with them wronging me allegedly. You know what I'm
you
saying?
in the room laughing about it before,
like
but
that.
now, no. Yeah. He does give that he's crashing out right now, but he's trying to act cool. And like, I even notice how he answers questions. His voice goes up. That's a sign a man's lying. Okay, a person's lying when their register goes up like that. And he's like, he's just interested in trying to humiliate the other men. And that's his defense mechanism. And that's very similar to what the housewives do. So at this point, Martell hopes, give him a peach because he's earned it at this point. He's being a messy, he's being messy. He being like he's one of the girls right now.
So one of the things I do want to talk about is during that conversation, obviously it's between the two of them, but there's 4 different men in the room. And a lot of the men who were there just felt like these two aren't getting anywhere. One of the things that was talked about is, did you guys get a sense of what people are saying? And it's that these are 2 theories, and I want you to tell me your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Based on this scene, 2 theories arose on social media. The first theory is the form of jealousy. Okay. There's people who believe that Martell is jealous of the success that Marceau has accumulated because when he gave him the company, he did not think Marceau would do anything with it. And when he sees Marceau excelling, still being married, having the family, having the job, there are people on social media who feels like the basis of that scene that we saw was because they feel like Martell is shocked that Marceau has made something out of the company that he gave him.
I would say that. And like, listen, I'm not saying the other guys are innocent. They very well may have all done stuff, right? And Martell probably has some real tea on them because that's what happens when you're in a friend circle. You guys do dirt together, right? But the other guys didn't have the same consequences as Martell did. Martell's been on blast. We all know him to be the cheater, the narcissist. So he's probably like, damn, we always getting grimy. Why am I the only one getting singled out? So he's paying them back. Like
and that was just, and not to cut you off, just to talk about it. That was theory number 2, how people felt.
Oh, yeah. So he wants, like, it's like we robbed the 3 of us go rob a bank together, right? And Carlos, you're the only one that really gets caught, but we all did it together, kind of like Phaedra and Angela Stanton and Apollo, but really like all of them didn't really get the same punishment. You know, so you would feel a way if you're the one that actually served the time and the other people didn't. You'd be like, nah, man, y'all guilty too. And I hate that no one's seeing it. And I think that's what he's feeling. If I had to like psychoanalyze with my limited, with my college education, I think that's what it is. He hates that the public doesn't see the other guys like they see him. That's what I think. And I think he wants them to get more dirt on them too. He almost feels
I
like
agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Claudia 100%. And listen, anybody would feel burdened, right, by the responsibility of carrying that title, right? When people know the dirt you've done and know something that you're not proud of, you know what I'm saying? We saw his marriage implode. We know why. And a lot of people have strong opinions. This audience is very passionate. The opinions get passionate. They take it very, very far beyond the television screen. And so I'm sure that Martell faced a lot of, hard shit about what he did. But to me, if you're a person who is facing your truth or whatever, if this other person is not involved in what you had going on, it's very immature to me to say, well, but look at what he did. Look at what he did with her that I knew and didn't tell nobody because he did that with them. So be mad at them too. That's immaturity personified. And so I don't care about the accusations that he sends their way. Letitia Scott and Marceau can work that out on their own time. And whatever, they seem to have it figured out according to whatever. Feel how you want to feel about their marriage. But to me, it's lame as hell to be dragging other people's stuff that doesn't have anything to do with your situation into the forefront when you simply don't want to face accountability. You're tired of people telling you you're a bad person, which anybody would be, but that doesn't give you license then to go try to bring other people and their bullshit that has nothing to do with what you have going on, what you're being held to the fire for, so to speak, into the fold. It's just an immature take at the end of the day. And that's why it doesn't win him any points to say, okay, well, they was cheating with them too. So, and I knew about it. So now, you know what I'm saying? Like, so what, my nigga, you look even worse. Like you look even worse in that situation. So that's where I'm at with it.
Carlos, as your producer with your producer hat on, well, executive producer, show creator, do you think that if Martell would just like stand on it, right? Regardless of what the smoke the other guys are not getting, if he would have earlier on in his career said, I messed up, I'm going to take accountability for what I did and be a changed man, I think he would go from being the most hated to the most loved. He's an attractive man. He is charismatic. He's fun to look at. But like, I think that's the thing that holds him back is that he refuses and then he goes petty. I think it would make him look like a grown man. Do you think he's capable of doing that?
Well, I think based on the earlier season, Dustin, I would love to hear your thoughts too, because you watched it since then. The infidelity that happened in their marriage was discussed episode 1 of season 1, Claudia. It was out the gate. And by episode 3 is when he revealed to his boys, at the time it was Martell and Maurice, that he did step outside of his marriage. So it wasn't anything that wasn't kept a secret. Like it was, since episode 1, it was out there that they had, the infidelity happened. I think what's happening is it's been this sort of accusations flying, right, from everybody involved. And what people don't understand, and that's why they always ask me questions, and I always tell them, those 3 couples were friends for 6 years before I even stepped in the picture. They have a history of friendship. And Claudia, it's equivalent to if I came in and you and Annie have an issue, and then all of a sudden people are like, well, Carlos, it's about that. I'm like, they've been friends for decades.
Yeah.
We would have to spend 30 years telling that story. And one thing that I will say, and I've even said this on the air at the reunion, and I stand on this. Till this day, I think all of them know way more about each other than they have said on the show. And I know that may sound weird to a lot of people. I strongly believe in my heart of hearts that yes, things got messy. A lot of stuff has been said that is abhorrent. I still believe there's a lot of stuff that have yet to be said, because I do feel like in some strange way, I get it, audience, there is still this fine line of what not to cross, if that makes any sense.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
You think the line has been crossed?
Yeah. I mean, if we sitting here, I'm with my wife, and you say that I'm not gonna go. We're not gonna get too deep in the minutia of all this, right? But yes, I do believe a line has been crossed at this point. I think that's why Marceau's take was so final on it. Marceau was like, I don't need no apology. I don't need nothing from you. I'm not interested in resolve. You just stay in your space. I stay in mine. He wasn't interested in, because he said that he felt like Martell was going to repeat the behavior. And based on what we've seen, he has. Now, listen, Martell is not the first person that made a mistake and stepped out of their marriage or repeated a mistake and did that. But after that, we've seen him literally be nasty. We've seen him go low. We've seen him run from accountability, and all of these things that compile to us not having a trust with him as an audience. You know what I'm saying? When we watch the show, Martell had opportunity after opportunity and continues to have opportunity because he hasn't done it yet, right? He continues to have an opportunity to kind of reroute and change his approach to everything that we've been exposed to about his very personal business, right? But he won't do that. Instead, he chooses to find something else salacious to introduce, or find something else to try to expose, or he's pointing at everybody but himself. And that's what we're getting on the screen. And that's why I think it's hard for some people, because I'm sure he got people that connect with him and want to see him win like we all do. I don't want to see nothing bad happen to Martell, but he don't want to see nothing good happen to himself based on what the fuck we're seeing on the show. And that's where the challenge comes in. So I think yes, Claudia, to your point earlier, I think if he had stood in it and been like, I made a mistake and I feel bad about that, but motherfucker, you're wrong for this, I think people would have had a totally different reception from him. But it's like when you all this stuff, and then we're exposed to stuff that goes on outside of the show and all this shit, it's hard to kind of see him as a person who is even seeking that sort of redemption for his image or for what people think about his character. We don't even know if he wants it.
I don't think he does. I think he's, yeah. You know, when you have an argument with someone, or you have an issue with like someone you're dating or a friend, and you're like, I have to tell you something about something that you said that bothers me, and you want them to hear you and receive it, process it, and then, and instead of them listening to you, as soon as you're done talking, they go, but you did this to me. And you're like, wait, let's start with what you did first, and then we'll get to that. And you never get any result with those kind of conversations. Because I'm not saying that everybody else is innocent. I'm not saying that Martell is the only bad guy here, the only one that has dirt on. I'm not saying that. But the way his approach to it makes it hard to empathize for him or sympathize for him. And now we're not talking about what Marceau may have done, because we're just stuck on what Martell did because of how he responds. It's like, yeah. Because the coleslaw comment was kind of a little stank, wasn't it? The coleslaw the side thing. He said he wanted.
He went and he said it too. He said it in the scene. I'm saying it's to rattle his cage. He said it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the difference. You see, when Martell does and says things, he just says them and tries to divert the attention. At least Marceau was like, yeah, I'm saying it to fuck with him. I don't know.
Yeah, no, like I said, no, and that's the thing, and that's the reason why, when you watch a scene, it wasn't going anywhere, because it was digs after digs, and when your intention is to just throw out the worst dig to one up each other, it's hard to listen to each other, and that's why next week they are going to have a one-on-one sit down without anybody to really see if they're able to come to an agreement of how to move forward in all of this, because it did get to a point where they just weren't hearing each other.
Yeah.
And that goes to show you that is because, look, they're hurt, and it's evident. We'll see what happens next week. So
we got a few Martell fans in the chat that are going hard. Martell, is that you? Like Claudia and Dustin have their nerve. They're single. They shouldn't be talking about Martell like that. You don't know what we are, honey. We're Aries. We
and we don't give a fuck what you are. So there's that. We don't give a damn what you think or none of that. You can like Martell. You can like Martell. Baby, we don't give a fuck about you liking Martell. Enjoy the show and enjoy the commentary. Let's exchange ideas. If you don't like them, you don't like them. If you do like them, you like them. But we don't give a fuck what you do. And that's the difference. So don't ask us, don't take issue with us for having an opinion and sharing it in a form that's designed for us to do so. You don't have to agree with that. That's okay. Yeah.
Y'all are hilarious. I love it too. You okay? So before we end, I do want to just read a few of the super chats. We have Greg Piddet who said Atlanta side pieces.
Claudia.
In terms of what should be the name of the show. Greg also said, Lance, the lies in my candy voice. We also have Greg saying, Destiny is a grown woman. Sounds like jealousy. Greg, okay, I love you. Greg also said, I have a bone to pick with y'all. Hell, it's me messing with your Wi-Fi. Okay. And last but not least, Greg also said, no, Carlos, no, not Jocelyn. Okay. Shout out to Honesty, who just wanted to say hi. Hi, Honesty.
Hey, Honesty.
We appreciate you. And I think that's all of the super chats today. So look, Claudia and Dustin, thank you guys so much for another episode. Claudia, once again, congrats on your movie run.
Yes.
Congrats. You know, everybody's talking about it. Everyone's saying how well you did in the movie. So congrats to that. Congrats to everything you have going on. Dustin, love you, brother. Friend zone. You guys, hold on. Congrats because you guys celebrated
10 damn years.
10?
Yep.
Wow.
10 years. 10 years in the game. What did he
That's
say?
amazing.
10 years, honey. Lots of love. 10 years. You know what I'm saying? 10 years. So yes. Grateful. So grateful. That's all because of the audience.
Good, Dustin.
10 years. Yeah. But shout out to the Friend Zone audience. Like, because of them, I've been able to work in so many different spaces, so many different verticals of media. I'm really, really grateful. And so that 10-year anniversary really means a lot to me. I thank everybody for fucking with the show, for real. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yes. It really is. Thank you.
10-year run. Where will we be in 10 years? What do you think we'll be in 10 years?
I can tell you where we won't be in 2 years. I'll fucking with you. Listen, stay tuned, y'all. We have listen, you'll see us. Claudia, are you coming back on Monday?
Monday? Yeah. Are you asking me or are you gonna have your assistant ask me?
Anyways.
Who we love. Shout out to King. Shout out to the team. Behind the scenes, there's some really special people that work on this show every week. And we just really want to give them a shout out. Shout out to our girl Lula, our girl Lizzie, everybody at Kingdom Reign, Reality with the King. We love y'all and thank you for what you do. For real.
Thank you.
Great company. When are we going to Miami?
Yeah, when are we getting a TV show, Carlos? We need to be at a table with coffee mugs and cards in our hands. I keep telling you this. We need to be at a table with our mugs, Carlos.
Carlos King's always working on something. You guys know that. But listen, I will say this. Everything has been going according to plan. So love you guys. Keep your phone on, Claudia.
Love you, Carlos. Love you, Claudia. Love you, Raindrops.
All right, Raindrops. We'll see you next Monday. Bye.